My name is Zena Berkey and welcome to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, I'm a young adult fiction author, and today I wanted to talk about something that has recently been popping up again on social media and in regards to the cheer industry, and that is All Stars United. If you guys don't know, this is an organization that kind of banded together different cheer gyms in an effort to cause change in the cheer industry. That's kind of like the easiest way to put it. And I just wanted to spend a few minutes kind of catching you guys up, letting you know kind of what's going on, and then also sharing my opinions on everything. And then I, of course, want to open it up for comments and conversation. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section and everything like that. But to go ahead and start, basically, All Stars United, I first found out about them by the posting of their initiative that happened a little over a year ago, roughly a year ago, somewhere around there. But basically, it was a bunch of gyms that all got together and they said, like, hey, like, we need to see some change in this industry. Let's do something about it. And so they wrote this huge letter that went to some of the driving forces, top forces in the cheer industry. And they had 4 initiatives that they were focused on. And I will do my best to like put them on the screen as well so you guys can read them. This is coming from their website. And it says initiative number 1, lower the cost of participation for athletes and their families. And they suggested that they should, that the idea of state of play competitions should be evaluated. If you guys don't know what that means that there are certain comps that in order to compete, you have to stay in very specific housing. And often the complaint has been that it's going to be a lot cheaper to stay just a little bit further outside of that competition area, save some money, or to get an Airbnb, to do different things like that. That frequently, even if you look on that hotel's website for a room, it's going to be cheaper than if you have to do it through the booking tool you use through the competition. So that's initiative number 1. Initiative number 2 was lower the cost of participation for our programs. And the suggested solution was eliminate coaches' registration fees for all coaches with USASF greenlit background checks. Basically, that's going to encourage coaches to get these background checks and then from that point on, not make them pay a registration fee all season. That's an important one because the athletes are really the ones that are paying those fees, and it causes their registration fees to go up a little bit. And so by having X amount of money for X number of coaches, less each registration for comps, it's going to help out kind of the bottom line, which is how much the families are paying. Initiative number 3 said eliminate unreasonable competition start and end times. No team should warm up earlier than 8 a.m. and no team should perform later than 10 p.m. Honestly, I only know of a few competitions where this is the case, where teams are performing at those different hours. Obviously, like Worlds tends to be one that's like that, and I think maybe NCA. So it's just some of these big, huge ones. So they had that suggestion of like not before 8 a.m. or not warming up before 8 a.m. and not competing later than 10 p.m. So again, I don't really have a ton of experience on that one, having firsthand been like, oh yeah, I was at a comp and a team didn't go on until like 11:30. Again, other than like Worlds. And then their fourth initiative was give parents the flexibility to save on travel expenses based on performance times, and the suggested solution was provide block scheduling no later than 1 month after the registration deadline on all competitions. And this is really important for families that are maybe traveling to somewhere and they find out like, okay, if their kid doesn't go until 6 p.m., why are they going to get a hotel the night before when they could just drive that morning? And again, since they are a lot of stay to play, it really adds up. They're more expensive than other places. So yeah, it's a big deal. So those were the 4 initiatives, and I believe there were like some responses online. In all of this, if I give any wrong information, like please feel free to correct me. I try to do my research as best I can, but if I've missed something, like please let me know. I want to, number 1, represent All Stars United as best I can. I want to also like give you guys the information as best I can. So if I miss anything at all, let me know. But basically there was like responses of people being like, yeah, we think these initiatives are great. And then nothing's really happened. Like nothing's really seemed to come about this conversation that was started. And I just want to really quick let you guys know, they had like kind of founding members, and like the list of people that were listed at the bottom of that first initiative when it was sent out. I mean, we have Ace All-Stars, Brandon All-Stars, California All-Stars, Cheer Athletics, Cheer Extreme, East Celebrity Elite, Gym Time, Ice, Maryland Twisters, Stingrays, Top Gun, Twist and Shout, Woodlands Elite, World Cup. Those are huge names. Like, I don't like doing math, so I didn't check, but I feel like the number of globes that those gyms alone won this past season is astronomical. Not to mention, like, the number of titles that those gyms hold just from the past season, summit championships, things like that. Like, these are not just these, like, small little gyms that are like, boo-hoo, we don't want to pay registration fees because we don't have a lot of, like, money or this, whatever. Like, these are big gyms that are being like, dude, this is a problem and it needs to be fixed. And yeah, it needs to be fixed. I'm going to get to my whole opinion at the end. I promise I'm getting there. But anyway, now I want to jump to the initiative that just came out. And, oh, sorry, my iPad is like, not really feeling it. So this one came out on July 31st, so almost a month ago. I have been like super busy and haven't had the chance to really go through all of it, but I just kind of took the time, read through all of it, and I wanted to share with you guys everything that's going on in this letter. So basically they're like, hey, this is an event producer's cover letter. We want to let you guys know that these are some of the issues that we have. These are some of the things that are going on. We suggested some initial things. We haven't necessarily gotten a big response. We understand some of these things take time, but this is important. And the thing that I think is really important about this cover letter is the number of gyms is like 4 times as long now. Like, it's huge. I'm not going to name them all. I will show it on the screen. There's a ton of them, just a ton of them, because people are like, this is a problem, we need to fix it, and we're all on board. And again, like, we didn't see necessarily a ton of change after that first letter, but there are people that are like, we want to be a part of that change when it happens. Let's go. Like, let's do this. So there's a lot more teams, a lot more gyms listed. Like just a couple that I can see on here really quick that aren't on the first one. We have 5-Star Athletics, All-Star 1, All 4 Cheer, Central Jersey All-Stars. I don't think they were on the last one. No, I can't remember. Cheer Florida, Cheerville. We got Express Cheer, Top Dog, Lunar Viper, Main Stars, Tribe Cheer, I think Spirit Factory. Sorry if some of those were. I was just randomly reading them. But so you have a lot more people that are invested and interested in taking part in this and hopefully making change. So now we're going to go ahead and read through some of the things that they are suggesting to different people, different places in the industry. So up first was the USASF proposals. And number 1 was combine all coaching requirements, certificates, credentials, all that, into a single payment that could be fulfilled at the same time annually or biannually. Basically, that means, oh, you're certified, you're going to pay $500. I don't know a realistic number to pick here, but $500, it's going to cover all of your credentials, all of your fees, all of your entrance into comps. You're done. So you're not cheating them out of money. You're just paying all of it up front, and it's covered and it's done and it's easy. It's good. All of that. Number 2, coordinate/unify communications between USASF and IASF regarding age grids, rules, and divisions. I don't know about you guys, but USASF and ISAF confuse me so much sometimes. I need like big flow charts, and I don't always have them. Number 3, increase the representation of gyms on the USASF Board of Directors. Definitely not all of them are in representation. Number 4, offer a USASF lifetime membership option for both athletes and coaches. So this is people that are just long-standing in the industry. Number 5, accept background checks from other credible sources with the prerequisite that they must be equal or more restrictive than the current model. Basically, what that means is they're requesting background checks to go through them, and it costs this amount of money when other places are maybe not charging as much. I think all of these are really, really great suggestions. It all really comes down to we need to have a unified top level of cheer in order for all the bottom layers to work in, I can't think of the right word, work together, work in harmony, there we go. And for USASF and IASF, there we go, to be more on the same page. So I agree with all those. I think it's great. A lot of them don't necessarily affect spectators and athletes necessarily, but I still think they're really good. Up next, though, was general event producer proposals, and these ones, I love. Number 1, spectators age 18 and under have reduced fees for reduced/free spectator fees to promote sport to potential customers. I think that is amazing. I have friends that they go to cheer. They're like, they're in high school and their little siblings are coming and they're paying $40 to sit and play on an iPad because they have to be there for their sibling. Like, that's insane, just insane. Number 2, lowering overall entry fees by offering free registration after a certain threshold. Example, 1 free athlete for every 10 paid registrations. I I think that's a really great idea. It allows for teams to kind of get a little bit of a discount, especially if they're larger gyms, and I think that's a really good idea for sure. Number 3, eliminate coach registration fees for coaches with greenlit background checks and current USASF credentials. Again, that's one we saw in that initial thing as well. They're kind of bringing it back, like, hey, we didn't forget we offered this or suggested this. Number 4, standardize warm-up times. Examples, 3 rotations, 6 minutes each, or 1 rotation, 12 minutes. Basically, every comp should be the same. It shouldn't be you go to this one competition and you have like a 40-minute warm-up, you go to this competition, you have a 12-minute warm-up, you go to this one, and you have 15 minutes. Like, it should be the same everywhere. And number 5, eliminate spectator admission fees with possibly higher entry fees. I'm a little confused on that one, I'm not gonna lie. So eliminate spectator admission fees with potentially higher entry fees. So maybe making athletes pay more so spectators get in for free. I'm not really sure on that one. If anyone has any clarifications, I know for me, like, I'm going to spectate. I don't have any problem paying the entry fees at competitions because I know it's hopefully going to support the athletes and things. Maybe not. Maybe it just supports the comp and the industry, but, you know, I'm okay with it. So that one I'm not really sure on. I'm not against it. I support All Stars United. If I haven't said that yet, I support All Stars United. So yeah, there's that one. Next, we're going to move on, though, to the summit proposal. Number 1, park hopper passes are not required for other events at ESPN. Provide WWS only options for athletes' families to reduce costs. So only Wide World of Sports. Basically saying, hey, if you want to just come to Wide World of Sports, you want to just do Disney at Wide World of Sports, you don't have to get a park hopper pass. Now, I thought that was maybe already a thing that you can get just a ticket for Summit, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, I legitimately could be wrong. And maybe that if you get the pass and you want to like stay at All-Star Resort and travel to there, you need the park hopper. Again, I'm not certain on that one. Not really sure if anyone knows any info. And then other proposal was raise the bottom age for participation at Summit. Basically, you have these like teeny little kids that are like 4 and 5 years old. They're competing at Summit. There's this push for them to compete at Summit. Everybody wants to compete at Summit. And everybody gets to compete at Summit. Feels like every year there's always more and more teams. I mean, I was there the year parents were outside the brand new arena chanting, "Let us in," because it was at capacity. Like, I think lowering the number of teams that make it, whether it's an age grid or number of bids, I think that's a real issue that needs to be taken care of, needs to be considered. Next is the gym owner proposal. Number 1, create a specific all-star elite competition season for U.S. gyms. Example, October 15th to May 15th. That way there's not like some gyms that are continuing their seasons or starting way earlier. They're trying to get other competitions in. I think it really allows for teams to all be unified, and teams aren't maybe getting like legs up or doing who knows what. I don't know. And number 2, gyms should create dead weeks during the season, no practice/events. I know most gyms that I am aware of do that, but maybe it's not something that all gyms do. Maybe some gyms are kind of pushing their kids to work harder. I think by leveling the playing field, that might be a really good idea. Next is music proposal. Whew. Okay. Number 1, gyms who pay for custom mixes should obtain some level of ownership over that music beyond a single season, possible uses including gym social media promotions, etc. I think that's a really big one. I think about all my favorite mixes last season, like those are owned by the producers that created them. That's fine, but it definitely is a bummer that like gyms can't just use that music unless it's inside their license. They have a lot of rules they have to go through with that for sure. Number 2, form libraries of previous music, clips, whole routines, etc. available for use at a lower price. So basically what that would mean is like, okay, this kind of generic mix for this team was made. You're able to reuse that same one. You don't need to reinvent the wheel for it. I think that's a really good idea. Like, honestly, such a good idea, especially for like smaller gyms that don't have the means to like buy 17 mixes for all their teams, you know? And number 3, encourage gyms to use fewer, fully customized, most expensive mixes. So basically saying like, hey, like, have a puzzle piece mix where you can like put in this section that talks about your team and that section that talks about your team, but these areas are maybe the same, so it's a little bit easier to use it more. And yeah, you might have a little bit more of the same song usage, but I think aside from like Worlds teams, people aren't expecting every single like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 team from a gym to have its own custom mix. Just from what I'm getting, that's what they're talking about. Next is the video proposal, which, yes, lots of things about this. Gyms should have the right to post videos of their own team/athletes on social media to promote their gyms and sport. Example, events could include verbiage in their event terms that specifically allow gyms. Yes, events could include verbiage, in their event terms that specifically allow gyms and athletes fair use of their own video. When I got my YouTube channel taken down at Worlds 2018, Cheer Extreme also got in trouble because they posted a full routine of like SSX, and like that was under copyright and they weren't allowed to post it, even though that's the gym that like is performing in the video. Like, that's crazy to me, and like something needs to be done about it. Number 2, if gyms are not allowed rights to videos of their own team/athletes, we limit outside access to our gym/athletes trademarks. We may also start an industry-wide social media campaign to discourage subscribing to paid video services. I think everyone knows Varsity charges, Flow Tier charges for us to watch Summit, for us to watch Worlds. They have really like clamping down on it. I mean, again, I lost my channel because of posting some of the videos a full like 12 hours after competition was over. I really think they have a monopoly on the industry that maybe isn't the best, and I think it needs to be revisited for sure. When I was a kid, I remember watching it on ESPN. It probably wasn't live, but like, that's the kind of thing that I think we could eventually get to if we don't have such a stranglehold on only allowing certain companies to video and then upload images and videos and stuff on whether it's a live site or whatever site. So yeah, okay. Basically, so far, if you guys haven't caught on, I agree with everything All Stars United is saying. I completely support them. Yes. Next is the scoring proposals. Sorry, this is taking a really long time. I want to really make sure we got through all of it. Number 1, require 2 scoring panels. Require 2 judges panels. I'm not really sure if that means that comp could go faster or they can check each other's work. Number 2, 6 minutes per team to judge. So I know that kind of happens in some comps where like I've been at where they've done like a level 1 or 2 and then a level 5 and 6. And that way, while the level 1 or 2 are going, the level 5 and 6 are doing that judging, and they have like a little bit of a turnaround time. Number 3, 2 safety/legality watching each team. That definitely would be helpful. Number 4, additional reviewer of overall accuracy. Yes, yes, yes. I know so many comps where teams get second place to a team that had a big error that wasn't caught and they do nothing about it. It breaks my heart. Number 1, because you have this team that like had a stunt fall and they still get first, but then all of a sudden it's like, you didn't deserve it. And like, that's heartbreaking for them. Like, they didn't do anything wrong. Like, they weren't the judges up there misscoring them. But then you have these athletes that performed and should get first and now they just don't. And like in some cases, like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, they win all the time. But I've seen athletes who are like, this was their weekend to win a competition and they should have. And it just crushes them, you know, for these lower level teams and these smaller name gyms. And it definitely just breaks my heart. So yeah. Number 4, additional reviewer of overall accuracy. Already did that. Sorry. Just kidding. Number 5, standardized policy regarding protesting other teams' scoring. So, hey, that team had a fall and it wasn't counted. We lost to them. A specific way to go about doing it instead of just like, I pay a lot of money to come to this competition. You better give me the score we deserve. I'm not saying that gyms necessarily do that, although I do hear stories from cheer moms occasionally that might suggest otherwise. But yeah, there should be a specific way to go about doing it. I agree. And number 6, more specific and clearly defined set of drivers. I'm a little confused on the drivers. I know it's been explained to me before, but basically like the scoring at non-worlds competitions versus world competitions are totally different. And there's a lot of interpretation by the judges, which can sometimes make scores very, very different. I think of like SMOED and their pyramid. Their pyramid scored great once they unveiled it all season until Worlds, and then all of a sudden it wasn't a good pyramid. So confusing, so confusing. Finally, though, we have a tumbling proposal, and the first one is establish a tumbling code of points. How much is a standing full worth compared to a standing tuck? I agree. Number 4, deductions for incomplete rotations all season. So not just at certain big comps, it should be something that happens. Every single comp should be aware of like, oh, you're a level 6 now with the new standard. You're a level 16, but you're only doing level 5 skills because you're only doing fulls, not double fulls. Okay, how would that score different? Number 3, having an off-site on-call judge. An off-site on-call judge. I'm not 100% sure what that would allow for. Maybe someone who is there in the warm-up rooms to check on things. I'm not really sure. Again, not certain on that one. And number 4, more in-depth USASF certification for coaches and judges. I think that's always going to be good. The more you can get someone certified in coaching, in judging, it's going to allow everyone to do good overall. So that being said, with all of those things read, my mouth is already like tired and my eyes hurt from reading. I just want to kind of like basically say that these initiatives are amazing. They are fantastic and amazing. And basically this group of gyms got together and they said, hey, that's great that you want to eliminate like glitter and crop tops, but if you want cheerleading to go the distance, here are some real things you need to consider. And these are some great things to consider. We've all seen kind of the blow up that happened after Worlds this year with all the scoring and just everything like that. And that alone, I think, is proof that this change needs to come. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you can't have midriffs and like young kids and lots of makeup if cheer is going to be taken seriously as a sport. I know people that think cheer is a joke when I tell them stories or like they hear stories about like all these different things that happened and just like how much it costs for this, that, and whatever. And they like see people that are going to these events and paying all this money to do state of play and all that. And they're like, how is that a legitimate sport? You know, like there are other things that can be improved to make cheer a better place. And these are some of them. Now, I'm not saying cheer is a terrible sport, like by no means. Like I love this industry. I'm so honored that I'm a part of it in some small way. But I think there can be improvements. And I think All Stars United is really doing what they can to make these improvements happen. I think they're awesome. The one thing I do think though is that, like they said, some of these will take time. I think some of them people are reluctant to because it lowers their bottom dollar. And for a lot of people in the industry, unfortunately, I think it is about money. And I think in some regards it needs to be about money. Like, let's be honest. Like, if everyone's getting into comps for free and they're not making judges pay or not making coaches pay and they're not doing a state of play, which is probably getting them money from the hotels, are they really making enough money to do XYZ? I don't know, but I think really thinking it through and considering ways to help people and allow the sport to grow, it's going to be really good in the long run. Because when a sport is as expensive as cheer is, I think a lot of people can no longer do it. I know tons of people who can't do cheer anymore because it's too expensive. So it's a really big factor. But all that is to say, I definitely support All Stars United. I hope this video was informative. I feel like it was a lot of me just rambling. So I hope it has been informative to you guys. But most importantly though, I hope that it starts the conversation. In fact, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, but mostly comment below your thoughts, your feelings. If you have any questions, if you have answers to some of the things that I said I wasn't sure on, like let me know. Let me also know if you are in support of one specific initiative or anything like that, or if there's one where you're like, that's kind of a dumb idea. Like, let's make the conversation happen in the comment section. Just keep things civil and do our best to like kind of just be respectful of the cheer industry, these teams and these gyms that like put themselves on the line by putting their names on this list and doing this. And let's just have a conversation. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Let's talk about it. Finally though, make sure you're subscribed to my channel with notifications on so you find out as soon as new videos are posted. I will be posting my cheer schedule very soon. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of freaking out because we're like 2 months, maybe 2.5 months away from the start of showcases, and I already can't wait. So make sure you're subscribed for all of that. For now though, I just want to give massive props to All Stars United for stepping up, for being willing to put their neck out and make so many changes in the cheer industry, or to hopefully cause the start of that change. I also appreciate the way that they did a lot of live videos on Instagram. We were all able to check out cheer throughout the year without having to like pay for flow cheer or things like that. So I love and appreciate them so much. I didn't like message them to be like, hey, I'm making a video. Do you want me to say anything? I just wanted to make this and make it really like real and authentic, like what I'm feeling and thinking and stuff like that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks to all of you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see what amazing changes we see in this cheer industry coming up in the next year. Again, I love this industry so much. I want nothing but the best for it. And hopefully some of these initiatives can start taking place and can continue to shape and mold this industry I love so much. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.